Well, hello again, everybody. Dan John here from danjohnuniversity.com. Once again, I've been going through my little red book here with all the pages falling off, but the information is still wonderful. I found a section here that I know when I wrote it. It was June 1977, because rarely did I ever put dates on there, and I did in this case. There's two things I want to talk about. First off, is I did a 5-part summary of in June of 1977. Now I just won the biggest the meet I could be at from Skyline College for the year, and I was very proud of that, and that was a big deal. And then, as always at Skyline, you know, I win this big massive track meet, the state championship, on a Friday night, and Coach Lahati has me in a van at 4 a.m. going to Fresno for the West Coast relays, and then I had to compete at 9 a.m. so a 7 o'clock and a 9 a.m. back to back. But right after I did that, I wrote some things down. The first one is interesting. I write the word jogging here, but for me at the time, jogging led to long throws. And what jogging meant to me was that I would run a couple of laps every day with nothing much. Years later, I talked to John Powell, of course, the world record holder in the Discus, and he ran 800 meters every single day for time throughout most of his career. And his point was, nobody else is doing that, so I am. He also did pull-ups, dips, and sit-ups every day because he felt those 3 exercises weren't being done by his competitors. But what I think happened for me with jogging is that it just gave me just a little bit more work capacity, or who knows, maybe it just warmed me up. But I liked it. The second thing, don't push hard early in the season for big marks. And that is a tough one, because as a thrower, you're always trying to break your personal record. You're always trying to throw farther and farther and farther. And the truth is, the weather sometimes doesn't cooperate till May or June. And sometimes it's just, you know, you have to let that pre-season work kind of be behind you, less volume in the weight room, maybe even less intensity in the weight room, and let your throwing nervous system take over. You want to be a thrower who lifts, not a lifter who throws. Number 3, and this is something that would come back over and over in my career: more bodybuilding, less Olympic lifting. For 2 straight years, I Olympic lifted 5 days a week, and in my sophomore year at junior college, I hurt my lower back really worse than. I mean, I look back on the injury now and I kind of shake my head because I still kept competing. I shouldn't have been competing. My glutes were black from all the blood pooling down from the injury. That's bad. I don't care who you are. And I couldn't get relief. I couldn't sleep. It was brutal. And Dick had me just start doing general bodybuilding 3 days a week. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, I just all of a sudden just started uncorking great throws. Now, obviously, I eased up. That's the same thing I tell everybody. But also, too, I just, let the system happen. Number 4 is interesting. Concentrate on the final whip. In other words, compete with the end in mind. What's the most important thing in the discus throw is when, in my case, my left foot hits the ground and that big pull that we call 3A to 3B to 3C. It's jargon to you, but to me, that's where you focus on. If that's not right, you work backwards and make it right. And then I make this little note. It happened each season ahead. My freshman year, it happened at the NorCal trials. I was having a bad day. Fortunately, they gave me 4 throws, not 3. I was really having a bad day. Everything that could go wrong would. On my 4th throw, I got into the ring, and a guy who later threw for Cal walked right in front of me. I was getting ready to throw. So I had to stop my throw. And I went, what an idiot. That moment right there. And then I got that cool, we used to call it samurai eyes, where you kind of have that, where you relax your eyes so you can see everything at once. And I breathed out, I smiled, and I threw my lifetime best throw. The following year at the NorCal finals, a little boy walked over on my 2nd throw. Now, if you know the story, I've mentioned it before, but at the NorCal finals, I was sitting in the bus, and Coach Lahati had the wrong schedule. I was supposed to throw at 5 p.m. we pulled up at about 4:55, and I hear last call men's discus. I run down. Thankfully, I brought my equipment. And by the way, I was done throwing before my coach or any of my teammates came down. I found a very friendly family. The ring judge said, "Where you been?" He allowed me to throw, thank God, for a reasonable person. A family hid me while I threw on my Skyline College gear. My first warm-up was my first official toss. When I got in the ring for my second throw, this was back before cages, a little boy was standing, and maybe my mind's eye, I'm wrong, but like, he was right here. I mean, he might have been right there, but still. And I went, what a day. Breathed out, lifetime best throw. I guess the moral of the story is it's important to have someone walk in front of me before I throw, I guess. But it's interesting because I wrote those down, and so I'm guessing that everything after these pages is when I'm at Utah State University, at least for a while, and you can certainly see that emphasis there. Just above it, which will come over in a few weeks, is that year, Case Tungsten, who became a very famous person in running, and Wolfgang Linkmann, a great West German decathlete, both came to Skyline. Case to run our Humans Performance Center, and Wolfgang to be like an intern with Coach Lahadi to study. And I'll cover that in later weeks. But having someone from an entirely different system coach me was radical. Well, I hope this helps. I hope you get something out of it. I'm Dan John. We'll talk soon.